ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Hello students, let's continue with the we are inflorescence. The last class we have done the inflorescence. Make sure that you practice all the block diagrams along with the examples. Inflorescence, if you look at, whenever you see the plant having bud condition in your environment, just take the flowers and see their arrangement, then definitely you will get a clarity on inflorescence. Now for the last class we just started with the flower. So if you look at for the flower, what we have discussed for the last class, here if you look, take the stalk of the flower, it is called as pedicel. It is called stalk of the flower. We discussed the swollen part or the cup shaped one, what we find here, this is called thalamus, on which we find what we call calyx. Calyx are also called as sepal, and surrounding to this what we find, it is called as, this is called corolla or this is called as petal. We discussed for the last class the parts of the plant. Now if you look at the calyx and corolla, the best example to study the part structure of the flower is, you can take hibiscus, as I told you for the last class. You can see green colored ones, they are called calyx or sepal. The colorful ones what you find here, they are called corolla or petal. Now calyx, corolla together they are called as non-essential organs, or they are called non-reproductive organs, are also referred as, here in this case we can also write accessory organs. What we have to refer here, calyx and corolla, what we find, calyx and corolla together they are called as non-essential, or also called, means they are not essential for reproduction, they are also called non-reproductive, and they support the process called reproduction, that is why they are called accessory organs. So non-essential, non-reproductive, or they are called essential organs. Now inside the flower, as we discussed, this is called androecium, and along with that what we find, it is called as gynoecium, this is called androecium, androecium also called as stamens, gynoecium is also called as pistil or carpel. Now together when these two are there, the process of reproduction occurs, hence they are called essential organs or reproductive organs. Essential organs, or what we call is reproductive organs. Now let us take into consideration, here the stalk of the flower is called as pedicel, a cup shaped one what we find here, this is called as thalamus, on that you find green colored ones, they are called calyx or sepal, and about to this we find a colorful ones, they are called corolla or we call petals. Now calyx or sepal, a corolla or petal, this colorful ones what we find is corolla or petal. Now these calyx or corolla together they are called non-essential organs, or they are also called a non-reproductive organs. Then upper one what you find, androecium and gynoecium. Generally androecium and gynoecium, they are very much essential for the process called reproduction, that is why they are called essential or reproductive organs. Now if you take, then why we are discussing once again about the flower, because now if you take the flower part, whenever you say, here I am writing These all four are called, flower contains 4 floral members. Flower contains 4 floral members. What are the 4 floral members we find here? In this case, the 4 floral members are called as calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Whenever we find each one is called a floral member, that means calyx is a floral member, corolla is a floral member, androecium is a floral member, gynoecium is a floral member. So, when we find flower, generally if you take, we find 4 floral members. Altogether we find 4 floral members. What are they? Calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. All 4 floral members. Now, whenever we see, we find what is called as complete flower. Instead of writing definition, first I will give you the term to remember. We say complete flower. Complete flower meaning a flower with all 4 floral members. Floral members you can write, or you can write floral parts. What we are discussing? A complete flower. What is meant by complete flower? A complete flower says that a flower with all 4 floral members. If all 4 floral members are present, then it is called as complete flower. That means calyx is present, corolla is present mostly. But androecium present, that is called male flower. If there is no gynoecium, that is called male flower. If only gynoecium is there, then that is called female flower. At that time androecium is absent. Then such type of flowers are called as incomplete flowers. Incomplete flower. What is incomplete flower? A flower with 2 or 3 floral members. 2 or 3 floral members. What do we say here? An incomplete flower means a flower with 2 or 3 floral members. Okay, so when we take the incomplete flower, a flower with 2 or 3 floral members. Okay, so when you take the incomplete flower, calyx, corolla are present. Sometimes neutral flowers, for example, no androecium, no gynoecium. In inflorescence, fig fruit inflorescence if you take for example. Fig fruit inflorescence, in that neutral flowers are present, neutral flowers, gall flowers we call. In that no androecium, no male flower, no female one, no gynoecium, only calyx and corolla is present. That means a flower with 2, calyx and corolla, or 3, maybe with androecium or gynoecium. 2 or 3 floral members are there, then it is called as incomplete flower. Similarly, let us talk about perianth. Let us remember the terminology called as perianth. Remember the terminology called as perianth. What's the meaning of perianth? Where calyx and corolla are not distinct, are not distinct. What is the meaning of this? Calyx and corolla are not distinct, or not distinct means they are not differentiated. Calyx and corolla are not differentiated, meaning what? They look similar. Look similar, they will be similar, meaning no difference between calyx and corolla. Calyx and corolla both look similar, Both look similar. You cannot differentiate calyx from corolla. For example, if you take a hibiscus flower, generally in our surrounding environment you find hibiscus. If you take in case of hibiscus, for example, let us take China rose. If you take the China rose hibiscus, what we can see in this China rose here, the calyx or sepals will be green in color, and the corolla or petals will be red or pink in color generally. That means both are distincted, both are differentiated. Calyx is a small sepals, they are green in color, they are differentiated from corolla having red or pink. At that time we say calyx is different, corolla is different. But in some members what we can see here is calyx and corolla are not distinct, means you cannot differentiate the calyx and both look similar, The best example, it's nothing but lily. When you see the lily here, even down part also, calyx also looks white in color, corolla also looks white in color. Both look similar, you cannot differentiate. At that time, that is called perianth. You cannot use the term as calyx and corolla. At that time, we have to call that as what? Perianth. What is a perianth? Calyx, corolla are not distinct. Calyx and corolla are not differentiated. Then calyx and corolla both look similar. Best example is nothing but what? Lily. Best example is nothing but what? A lily. So here lily is the one. So we can take calyx and corolla are not distinct and they both look similar. The best example is nothing but what? Lily. At that time calyx and corolla together it's called perianth. At that time we don't use term calyx, nor we cannot call that as corolla. At that time we have to call both calyx and corolla together, it is called as perianth because they are not differentiated and both of them look similar. So remember the terminology called as perianth. Now apart from this, let us take some more points here. Now whenever we get the question that the smallest flower, whenever you get the question that the smallest flower, take down the example, very important, Wolffia. The smallest flower, let us take the example what we call Wolffia. The smallest flower is nothing but what we call Wolffia. Similarly, whenever we get the question that a largest flower, you know that it's nothing but Rafflesia. Smallest flower is nothing but, take down Wolffia. A largest flower is nothing but Rafflesia. Very important. Sometimes we have the chance of getting which is called as a national flower. National flower is nothing but Neelambo. What is that Neelambo? It's nothing but it is called lotus. It is called as lotus. Smallest flower is Wolffia. Largest flower is Rafflesia. National flower scientific name is Neelambo. It's commonly called as lotus. So Neelambo is the scientific name. Lotus is nothing but the common name. So these are the very important things which we have to remember regarding the flower. So I repeat again, calyx and corolla are called non-essential organs or non-reproductive organs or accessory organs. Accessory means they support the process. They are required. They support the process. That is why they are called accessory organs. What are they? Calyx, corolla. Androecium also called stamens, gynoecium also called pistil or carpel. Androecium we refer it as a male one, gynoecium it's called as a female one. Male means this is a symbol, female means this is a symbol we generally write. So here if both male and female are present, then they called as bisexual flowers. Let me write here the flowers are classified into two categories. Bisexual flowers and then unisexual flowers. Bisexual flowers, Unisexual flowers. What's the meaning of bisexual flowers? A flower with both stamens and carpels. Stamens we call male, carpels we call female. So here this is a symbol for and. So whenever you find, this is a bisexual flower, what I have drawn here on the board, this is a bisexual flower. So you can take the best example for bisexual flower is nothing but hibiscus. So bisexual flower means a flower which contain androecium, stamens nothing but male, and also it contains gynoecium or pistil or carpel nothing but female. If both male and female are present, it is called bisexual flower. I have given example hibiscus. Hibiscus is a scientific name, Hibiscus rosa sinensis. What is the complete name here? So what you can write, if you want, you can write completely. The scientific name of hibiscus, I mean China rose, is Hibiscus rosa sinensis. It is commonly called as China rose. It is commonly called as China rose. Hibiscus rosa sinensis. It is commonly called as China rose. So calyx and corolla, androecium and gynoecium, if both are present, androecium and gynoecium, stamens and carpels both are present, and then the condition is called, the flower is called bisexual flower. So as we have discussed here, if you want you can just make it upper unisexual flowers. So when I write here the flowers we just classified. One category is called bisexual flowers. Let us take other category as unisexual flowers. These unisexual flowers may be differentiated as, again divide into two categories, staminate flowers or male flowers, and other one is pistillate flowers or female flowers. So here staminate flower, pistil flower, that means flower with androecium, a flower with only androecium, it is called staminate flower or male flower. Pistillate flower or female flower means a flower with gynoecium, a flower with gynoecium. So here if you want you can draw the flower, a smaller one, small flower I am drawing it here, it contains only androecium, then this is called a staminate flower or male flower. Here maybe the flower is like this. So in this only gynoecium is present, then it is called pistillate flower or female flower. So we divide flowers into two categories, bisexual flowers, flowers with both stamens and carpels, and other category is unisexual flowers. Unisexual flowers are further differentiated into two categories, staminate or male flowers, that means flower with androecium, pistillate or female flower, that means flower with only gynoecium. So only antho, only gynoecium. Then this is nothing but the classification. Complete flower is the one, a flower having all four floral parts, calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Sometimes we call incomplete flower, that means a flower with 2 or 3 floral members, that may be unisexual flower because you find only androecium or only gynoecium, that comes under incomplete flower. So perianth meaning here, calyx and corolla are not distinct, you cannot differentiate calyx and corolla because both look similar. Then you cannot call as calyx or corolla, together you have to call the term called perianth. Perianth means there is no differentiation of calyx and corolla. Calyx, corolla both look similar, called perianth. So you can take example lily. If you observe the lily flower, white lily flower, calyx also down part looks white and petals also looks white. You cannot differentiate, at that time you have to call Perianth. Smallest flower, remember Ulfia. Largest flower, remember Rafflesia. A national flower, remember Neelambu. The common name is nothing but lotus. Let us continue further. Now, if you take the flower continuation of this, now in the flower we have other things to discuss before we talk about each one, each part of the flower. Generally, if you take in the flower we have to discuss what is called as merosity. What is nothing but merosity? So, let us discuss this. The number of floral members, the number of floral members or floral parts in each flower, it is called merosity. The number of floral members or the number of floral parts in each flower itself is called as merosity. Now, if you take the merosity based on the arrangement of flowers, it is of 3 types. Let us take the first one is called as a trimerous. Let us take very first one is trimerous, or we call this as a trimerous flower. What is a trimerous flower? Mostly in a flower we talk about petals. Mostly in the flower we generally take into consideration of petals. So, when you talk the number of petals, so floral member means you can talk about number of sepals. Number of sepals you can take into consideration. Number of petals you can take into consideration, or number of what you call stamens you can take into consideration. But if you take any flower, the most visible floral part is petals. So, colorful and beautiful petals. So, generally to classify the plant, you can take any floral part you can take into consideration for classifying the plant, but generally we take into consideration of number of petals. Generally we take into consideration of what? Number of petals, because it is easy to count the number of petals because they look bigger in size and very clear to identify and count the number of petals, right. So, when you take this, we have the condition called as a trimerous flower. What is the meaning of trimerous flower? So, here as we are discussing in terms of petals, the number of petals are 3, or we say multiples of 3 in each whorl. What is the meaning of that? When you talk about this, number of petals are 3 or multiples of 3 in each whorl. Each flower you can write, or each whorl. Whorl means one layer. When you look at one layer, petals may be arranged in different layers. If you look at in one layer, each whorl meaning in one layer of arrangement, how many petals are present? Maybe if you count, number of petals are 3. Or multiples of 3. Multiples of 3 means what? 3, 6, 9, 12. For example, if you look at the flower, sometimes the flower arrangement will be like this petals. So, number of petals may be 3, or sometimes you find the florets, or if you look at the petals maybe 6, or sometimes even you can find 9. So, or 12. So, whenever you take the multiplies of 3, meaning maybe 3 petals or 6 petals or 9 petals or 12 petals. Such type of flower is called as a trimerous flower. So, for a trimerous flower you can take a very important point, trimerous flower characteristic of monocots, or you can also write the statement most of the monocots, not all. Again there is a very important statement, all are not. Suppose for example you will get the question that all monocots are trimerous. Wrong statement. All monocots are trimerous. In assertion and reason you have to identify the true statement, false statement, a right statement, or you have to identify it as a wrong statement. If when I say the statement, listen carefully, all monocots are trimerous means it is a false statement. That is the reason why I am writing most of the monocots, not all. Most of the monocots are trimerous. Most of the monocots are trimerous. For your sake again I am writing the full statement. Okay. Some characteristic, why do you say monocots are characteristic of containing trimerous? Why do you say that? Trimerous is one of the character to identify monocot, but all monocots are not trimerous, because whenever if I take 10 flowers, 10 monocot flowers, in that 8 flowers are having trimerous, then I say maybe this is a characteristic of identification of monocot. Generally the most appearance of the character we take it as a characteristic feature. Generally, general cases, right. So, here most of the monocots are trimerous, not all. One of the characteristic feature is trimerous. So, let us take the best example is Lilium. The best example is nothing but what? Lilium, that is nothing but Liliaceae. What is the family? It belongs to the family Liliaceae. Lilium is a plant name. Lilium belongs to the family called as Liliaceae. Very, very important. So, here I kept 2 star marks. Remember it belongs to the family Liliaceae. Let us go to the next category, tetramerous condition. So, now I think you can go with the count with the numbers. When we write tetramerous, automatically it is understood that number of petals are 4, or we say multiples of 4. What is the thing here? Number of petals are 4 in each whorl, or multiples of 4. 4 are there, or 8 or 16. So, you can write either 4, 8 petals or 16 petals, right. So, you can take the best example is nothing but Brassica. Brassica means mustard. Brassica is a scientific name for mustard. You know, at home generally we use mustard, right. Avalu, we say mustard seeds. It is called Brassica. Guys, in inflorescence if you observe, we have studied about Brassica oleracea. Brassica oleracea, that is cauliflower. Brassica's genus name is common for both mustard and cauliflower, but Brassica when we read generally it is for mustard. Brassica oleracea, do not confuse again. Don't confuse again. Brassica oleracea, it is for cauliflower. So, remember that. So, in case of brassica or mustard, if you look at, the flower may be having 4 and multiples of 4. Then it is called as generally condition tetramerous. Then apart from this, pentamerous condition, pentamerous flowers. So, we say number of petals are 5 or multiples of 5. What is the meaning of this? There are 5 petals or more than 5, that may be multiples of 5. Maybe you can take 5 or 10 or 15, right. So, for this you can take example hibiscus, China rose. Hibiscus, China rose. Okay. So, in this case if you look at they will be like altogether 5 petals like this, or maybe multiples of 5. So, you can take in case of China rose, it will be like this, 5 petals like this. China rose, if you generally look at, the flower looks like this, right. So, this is nothing but China rose called as pentamerous flowers. So, what we discussed here, so merosity means, remember the definition, what we have to remember, number of floral members or parts in each flower or in each whorl you can take. So, these of 3 types. Trimerous is nothing but number of petals are 3 or multiples of 3. Characteristic feature of monocots, it does not mean that all monocots, excuse me one second, no need sir, excuse me guys, sorry. So, it is a characteristic feature of monocots, or what do we say, that most of the monocots are trimerous. This is a sentence indication that all is not correct, most of them is correct, that is very important to remember. Tetramerous, number of petals are 4 or multiples of 4. You can take example brassica, or it is commonly called mustard. Pentamerous flowers where number of petals are 5 or multiples of 5. You can take example hibiscus. When you say trimerous is mostly characteristic feature of monocots, and try to remember tetramerous, pentamerous are characteristic feature of mostly found in dicots, mostly found in dicots. We find them mostly in case of dicots. So, trimerous, tetramerous, pentamerous. Based upon any floral member we can take into consideration, but here we are discussing number of petals, right. Now, let us continue further here. Now, if you look at the flowers generally, now even we apply what is called symmetry. Symmetry means the arrangement of the flower, florets. Florets means we say again petals. So, most common visible part generally we take in the flower is nothing but petal. Based on the petal only we generally take into consideration for the study of some of the characteristics of flower. Let us continue further. Now, here we are discussing now in continuation of this symmetry of flower. What we can see here is symmetry of the flower. What is the symmetry of the flower? We generally know that we contain radial symmetry, bilateral symmetry, round spherical one and all that. Based upon the symmetry, here we are just studying about the types or the classification. Now, symmetry of the flower, in that let us take the first one, actinomorphic symmetry, or we call actinomorphic flower, F means flower, or we call actinomorphic symmetry. Whenever you take the actinomorphic term represents, in zoology you will study this as radial symmetry, one another same, because actinomorphic is a term which we apply for flowers. Radial symmetry is the thing which we apply for animals. So, what is actinomorphic? So, here I write a flower divisible into 2 equal parts in any plane of angle of division, in any plane of angle of division. So, a flower is divisible into 2 equal parts in any plane of angle of division. What is the meaning of this? Let us take any flower. For example, let us take the one which has 4 florets. Then what do I do now? I will cut this vertically, or I will cut this horizontally, or I cut this cross section wise or this wise. So, a flower is divisible into 3 equal parts in any plane passing through the center. So, in any plane of angle of division, let us continue passing through center point, passing through center. You can write here passing through center. That's must. Why? Because the way how you are cutting the flower, it should pass into the center. If you cut it also, it can make two equal parts. If you cut it horizontally also, it make two equal parts. If you cut diagonally or in a cross manner also, you can make the flower is divided into two equal parts. In any plane of angle of division, division means you are cutting, in any plane if you cut also, it makes two equal parts passing through the center. Such type of symmetry is called as what? Actinomorphic symmetry. Such type of flower is called as actinomorphic flower. For example, you can take mustard, chili, as well as we can take example datura. Okay. So, actinomorphic flower, you can take examples. Examples are very important. Mustard, chili, datura. All three are examples for actinomorphic flower, right? Now, let us go with the second one. Second one is called as zygomorphic flower. Zygomorphic flower, or itself is called as bilateral symmetry. Zygomorphic flower or bilateral symmetry. In zoology, this is referred as bilateral. Generally, this term applicable for animals, and zygomorphic is the term which we generally apply for a flower. For example, if you take the flower like this, okay, so like this, okay, some irregular shape you can make it, yeah. If you cut this flower like this, then only you can make some equal parts. Just imagine, if you cut this flower like this, it is divisible into two equal parts in only in one plane of angle of division, in only in one plane of angle of division. Then it is called zygomorphic. Only in one plane you can make two equal parts. So, what I can write here, the same definition but different aspect here. A flower divisible into two equal parts in only one plane of division, one plane of angle of division, only in one plane of angle of division, only in one plane of angle of division. That is very important. What is important? Only one plane of angle of division. Okay. So, what we do here is a flower divisible into two equal parts in only one plane of angle of division. That means a flower is cut into two equal halves in only in one plane. If you cut in any other plane, you cannot make it into equal parts, you cannot get equal parts. Only in one plane, if you cut it in the center like this horizontally, then only you can make the flower into two equal halves. If you cut like this, you cannot, or you cut diagonally also, you cannot make. Such type of flower is called zygomorphic, or also called as what? Bilateral symmetry. So, here we can take example, most commonly Fabaceae members like pea. Pea is what? Pisum sativum. Did you remember? So, the scientific name for pea is Pisum sativum. Similarly, the scientific name for beans. Beans is a common name. What is the scientific name for beans? That is nothing but Dolichos. Cassia, as well as we find even in case of Gulmohar. So, here we say a flower divisible into two equal parts. Pea is nothing but Pisum sativum, beans is nothing but Dolichos, Cassia and Gulmohar. These are nothing but the ones where you find what is called as zygomorphic flower. Then let us come to the third category, and the types we are discussing first and second are here. Third category. So, let us not to take the arrow mark in the middle of the types, you will get confusion here. So, what I can take here, the arrow mark is from the upper side. types we are discussing. Third category, let us make it as asymmetric flower. What is the meaning of asymmetric flower in this case? This is also referred as a irregular flower. Irregular flower. Why do you call this as irregular flower? In this case, a flower cannot be divisible in any plane of division. In any plane of division. Okay. So, what is a very important thing here? Asymmetric. Asymmetric means quite irregular. You can see some flowers are highly irregular. So, you can see asymmetric flower meaning irregular flower. What is the thing definition you can write for this? A flower cannot be divisible in any plane of division. In any plane you cannot divide the flower into two equal parts. So, here you can take the example for this. Example for this I am writing, giving what is called as Canna. So, Canna indica, very important. So, in this case what you find, a flower may be some irregular shape, you cannot make that as an irregular shape. So, this flower in any angle of division, so sometimes at higher ones or smaller one, irregular flower this is called. This is called irregular flower. You cannot divide into two equal parts in any plane of angle of division. You cannot cut it into two equal parts. It is called irregular flower. One side more flower petals, another side smaller petals, and so irregular it is. Such type is called as asymmetric flower. Asymmetric flower, its example is nothing but Canna indica. Right, quickly let us go look at this. Actinomorphic or symmetric flower, you can take a flower divisible into two equal parts in only one plane of angle of division passing through the center. It is called actinomorphic flower. Try to remember the examples: mustard, chili, datura. Then zygomorphic flower, bilateral symmetry. What is the meaning? A flower divisible into two equal parts only in one plane of angle of division. Remember the example: pea, Pisum sativum, beans, Dolichos, Cassia, Gulmohar. Asymmetric flower means irregular flower. A flower cannot be divisible in any plane of division. Example is nothing but what? Canna indica.